Hey, today we come to probably the most famous of the judges that we find in the book of Judges. It's Samson, and crazy life, used by God, but not necessarily maybe the smartest guy in the world, uh, and made some poor decisions based off of what God said don't do. But let's jump into reading and finding out more about Samson. Judges chapter 13 in the New International Version. Again, the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord, so the Lord delivered them into the hands of the Philistines for 40 years. A certain man of Zorah named Manoah from the clan of the Danites had a wife who was childless, unable to give birth. The angel of the Lord appeared to her and said, "You are barren and childless, but you are going to become pregnant and give birth to a son. Now see to it that you drink no wine or other fermented drink, and that you do not eat anything unclean. You will become pregnant and have a son whose head is never to be touched by a razor, because the boy is to be a Nazarite, dedicated to God from the womb. He will take the lead in delivering Israel from the hands of the Philistines." Then the woman went to her husband and told him, "A man of God came to me, and he looked like an angel of God, very awesome. And I didn't ask him where he came from, and he didn't tell me his name, but he said to me, 'You will become pregnant and have a son. Now then, drink no wine or other fermented drink, and do not eat anything unclean, because the boy will be a Nazarite of God from the womb until the day of his death.' Then Manoah prayed to the Lord, 'Pardon your servant, Lord. I beg you to let the man of God you sent to us come again to teach us how to bring up the boy who is to be born.' God heard Manoah, and the angel of God came again to the woman while she was out in the field, but her husband Manoah was not with her. The woman hurried to tell her husband, 'He's here, the man who appeared to me the other day.' Manoah got up and followed his wife. When he came to the man, he said, 'Are you the man who talked to my wife?' 'I am,' he said. So Manoah asked him, 'When your words are fulfilled, what is to be the rule that govern the boy's life and work?' The angel of the Lord answered, 'Your wife must do all that I have told her. She must not eat anything that comes from the grapevine, nor drink any wine or fermented drink, nor eat anything unclean. She must do everything I have commanded her.' Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, We would like you to stay until we prepare a young goat for you." The angel of the Lord replied, "Even though you detain me, I will not eat any of your food. But if you prepare a burnt offering, offer it to the Lord." Manoah didn't realize that it was the angel of the Lord. Then Manoah inquired of the angel of the Lord, "What is your name, so that we may honor you when the word comes true?" He replied, "Why do you ask my name? It is beyond understanding." Then Manoah took a young goat, together with the grain offering, and sacrificed it on a rock to the Lord. And the Lord did an amazing thing while Manoah and his wife watched. As the flame blazed up from the altar toward heaven, the angel of the Lord ascended in the flame. Seeing this, Manoah and his wife fell with their faces to the ground. And when the angel of the Lord did not show himself again to Manoah and his wife, Manoah realized it was the angel of the Lord. "We are doomed to die," he said to his wife. "We have seen God." But his wife answered, "If the Lord had meant to kill us, he would not have accepted a burnt offering and grain offering from our hands, nor shown us all these things, or now told us this." The woman gave birth to a boy and named him Samson. He grew, and the Lord blessed him. And the Spirit of the Lord began to stir him while he was in Mahaneh Dan, between Zorah and Eshtaol. Samson went down to Timnah and saw there a young Philistine woman. When he returned, he said to his father and mother, "I have seen a Philistine woman in Timnah. Now go get her for me as my wife." His father and mother replied, "Isn't there an acceptable woman among your relatives or among all your people, our people? Must you go to the uncircumcised Philistines to get a wife?" But Samson said to his father, "Get her for me. She's the right one for me." His parents did not know that this was from the Lord, who was seeking an occasion to confront the Philistines, for at that time they were ruling over Israel. Samson went down to Timnah together with his father and mother, and as they approached the vineyards of Timnah, suddenly a young lion came roaring toward him. The Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, so that he tore the lion apart with his bare hands, as he might have torn a young goat. But he told neither his father nor his mother what he had done. Then he went down and talked with the woman, and he liked her. Sometime later, when he went back to marry her, he turned aside to look at the lion's carcass, and in it he saw a swarm of bees and some honey. He scooped up the honey with his hands and ate as he went along. When he rejoined his parents, he gave them some, and they too ate it. But he did not tell them that he had taken the honey from the lion's carcass. Now his father went down to see the woman, and there Samson held a feast, and as was customary for young men, when the people saw him, they chose 30 men to be his companions. "Let me tell you a riddle," Samson said to them. "If you can give me the answer within the 7 days of the feast, I will give you 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes. If you can't tell me the answer, you must give me 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes. Tell us your riddle. Let's hear it." And he replied, "Out of the eater, something to eat. Out of the strong, something sweet." For 3 days they could not give the answer. On the fourth day, they said to Samson's wife, "Coax your husband into explaining the riddle for us, or we will burn you and your father's household to death. Did you invite us here to steal our property?" Then Samson's wife threw herself on him, sobbing, "You hate me. You don't love me. You've given me, my people, a riddle, but you haven't told me the answer." "I haven't even explained it to my mother or father," he replied, "so why should I explain it to you?" She cried the whole 7 days of the feast, and so on the seventh day he finally told her. Because she continued to press him, she in turn explained the riddle to her people. Before sunset on the seventh day, the men of the town said to him, "What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" And Samson said to them, "If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle." Then the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him. He went down to Ashkelon, struck down 30 of their men, stripped them of everything, and gave their clothes to those who had explained the riddle. Burning with anger, he returned to his father's home. And Samson's wife was given to one of his companions who had attended him at the feast. Before we talk about it for a second, this is a fresco, a relief, an engraving of Samson, and you can see Delilah cutting his hair, which we're going to talk about in the next chapter. But this is from the 1400s, and I believe it's in Greece is where that's at. And so we see several things happening here with Samson. First of all, we see that the apple really doesn't fall far from the tree. Manoah, his dad, he doesn't seem like he's the sharpest pencil in the drawer either. You know, he's questioning. He doesn't know it's an angel. They don't know it's an angel even after it ascends into heaven. So Manoah isn't up to speed on everything, and plus you kind of get the sense that he wants to know this guy's name so that he can build an altar, and they were going to worship him not as God but as a god, a little g. And so God is wise to keep that hidden from him and then to reveal himself as an angel. And then we see Samson, and we kind of get the idea that since Manoah and his wife knew that Samson was being set apart, Samson kind of comes across as a spoiled little boy, demanding different things and doing things that are against what God has set out, although God was using this as a chance for the Israelites to conquer the Philistines. What we see is this pattern of 40 years. It's a number that is often used in the Bible. But the Israelites quit following God. And even though they know what's right, and even though God keeps saving them, they continue to do what's wrong. And there will be a time when God finally walks away because the Israelites don't learn. We have to learn to stay faithful to God and to follow his commands, even when life isn't going great. It's because of our faithfulness that God can use us at a time that he has set for us to maybe do something really huge. So be faithful. Have a great day.